I wanted to really focus on, booking your first co-star credit. The first credit is so important. Like, I find most actors struggle booking the first credit. Do you agree? I mean, right?
Definitely. I think it's something like when a lot of people come to the city with these big aspirations, like we got to get that the first credit, because then it like legitimizes you, right? In a way. And we put that pressure on ourselves very hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes it works against us when you just obsess about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It's a very uphill battle to get that first
I
credit.
find the reason, it's mostly casting directors don't know who you are, and they have to put in a lot of trust to make sure you go to set, you actually do the job, and you behave on set. That's usually the reasons why they kind of, it's such a struggle for new actors.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have to know you, like they have to know not necessarily your work, but just like, hey, you're not gonna like
person.
You're gonna be professional when you show up on set and do your job. So the trust is a major thing that you have to gain through years to be realistic. In the market.
Yeah, and that's why I want to explore very specific details on the journey of booking your first co-star credit, and we're going to do that today with you. Like, I'm talking about very specific details, if we can, get that accomplished.
No,
today.
happy to. Yeah, happy to share what I went through. See if it can help anybody. That's great.
Sounds good. All right, let's start with how many auditions did you have before you booked your first co-star credit?
I would say like 8 to 10.
8 to 10.
But
wow.
8 to 10. But to get actually a bigger struggle was first to get representation. That's another whole conversation. But in terms of after getting a manager and being able to go out on these auditions, I would say like 8 to 10 for the first one. But then there's a big gap between that and the second co-star. So there's really no rhyme or reason, but it's for the first one, 8 to 10.
Okay, 8 to 10. Mine was way more, actually. And so how long were you acting though before you booked your first? That's important to know. That's really important.
So I've been acting, I'm actually from the Washington, D.C. area in Maryland. So I started acting there, and it's been, I would say 8 to 9 years.
8 to 9 years before you booked your first co-star.
Right. Mm-hmm.
See, that's interesting.
That's a lot of because you don't know how to navigate this industry really when you're first starting out. You think you're like, okay, I got to do this, meet this person, or just got to do short films and work my way up. But there's a whole business side you're kind of oblivious of for the most part in the beginning of your journey, and then you kind of learn the ropes, and then by that time, for me it was 8 years passed before I understood how to actually work in the work industry.
Okay. Now you said you had like 8 to 10 before you booked your first one. Did you have during that time when you were actually getting those auditions, but you did not book them? Did you have representation? Did you have like your reels, headshots, all the materials that you need, for you to book one?
So luckily, like say, like any work is work, but it's probably more fulfilling work to do these short films and web series, to be honest. So I've done like short films, commercials in the DC area, and plays, theater. So I had like a resume to go off of.
Okay. So you had representation too? You had an agent?
I only had, for the most of my career, I've only had a commercial agent. So a bigger struggle was to get like legit representation.
Okay.
And so, but for these auditions, for the co-star specifically speaking, yes, I did have a manager, and I was freelancing with an agent as well.
Okay. That's how you got your auditions, right? Through your agent. Okay.
Yep.
Manager. Okay. Cool. So let's talk about when you actually got the audition that you booked, right? Mm-hmm. Do you remember where you were? Like, what were you doing?
I was super stoked. It was a one-liner, but I was like, this is my first ever.
What show was it?
This is for, the first one was for some Comedy Central show, like first audition for a co-star. I think it was like Broad City, I think.
Okay.
I think it was Broad City. But I was just like, whoa, like I'm actually in the room, and that's a quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
I think if you're just auditioning, that is a big feat as an actor in New York. Like it is, there's a ton of us, so to be in the room that they selected you, it really is a privilege, and it's you should be grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah.
So I was like, yes, I finally, like, I leveled up after years of work.
Yeah.
So it was it was a happy day. Whether I got it or not, I wanted it. Obviously, we all want it, but just getting the audition, it's like seeing that email saying, "Hey, appointment Friday, 10:30 a.m. whatever." Email. It was a happy day.
So what about the one you booked? Which one did you book? Did you book the Blacklist or the Gotham first?
I booked the Blacklist.
Blacklist. What about that one? Where were you? Do you remember? What were you doing when you got the audition?
Yeah. So this was like, it was like number. So I kind of like got the gist of like what happens on these in these auditions. So got the signs. I took a glance at it. Try to understand the situation of the scene. Nerves were getting better as you do more. I think that's also very important. Like audition technique is crucial in order to make a career. Like you have to be comfortable. It's quite different. Actually, I find it very different, like a different skill set altogether versus like regular acting in a way. Like your mind is always like has added pressures, added anxiety about the performance.
Yeah, it's a different skill set completely. You could be a great actor, you could be a bad
you can crumble at audition time, but you could be great when you're performing on stage. So it's really interesting to understand that concept. And sat in the room.
Wait, let's take it back 1 second. So that audition, was it a line, just one line? Or
it was just one line.
And let's talk about one-liners, because those are the hardest sometimes, because you don't know what to do. Sometimes you'll be like trying to analyze it. Sometimes you want to over prepare it, because there's not much you can do. I mean, you can do something, but you can't do a lot with it.
Exactly.
I find a lot of actors complain, like, they find it hard,
Yeah, my acting coach said it best. I think for me to kind of like understand it, it was like, don't pour a gallon into a teacup.
Okay, perfect.
I think that analogy can help assess how much homework you need to do when you go out for these. Because as a co-star, you're there to serve a specific, very distinct purpose for the show and for the episode that you're on. It's to steer the plot one way, divulge one specific detail. So you have to understand your purpose. As a co-star, what they need from you, and once you understand that, you won't over-analyze, overact, which is probably the danger, and then you won't book it, because then you kind of like draw so much attention to this one line when it's really like you say it and you go.
Okay, so I guess Blacklist, I would say Chelsea Pierce.
Yep.
That's where you headed. And
Finnegan Jacobs.
Yep, Finnegan Jacobs. So do you remember that day? Did you get there early?
Yes, I was. Okay. I think we already knew what role it was going to be for, so I dressed accordingly. Again, nothing too indicative, but just like, you could pass. It was like a TSA agent. Showed up early. Always. I think that goes without saying. Be on time. I think they can be late, but as the actor who wants the opportunity and the job, you must show up early or on time. At the latest. Looked at the sides, glanced it over, read it once or twice.
How many people were there in the room?
There was like, I think at least when I was there, like seven to 8 people. Line. And then you can see, when you sign in the sheet, you can see, oh man, they like auditioned like 20, 30 other people before me. Because
you see the character name, right? So
you'll sign in with your name, the role you're going for, audition time, and you can see, okay, well, man, there's been like 20 other people before me going for the exact one-liner that I'm going for.
Totally.
And that gives you a little glimpse of the reality of how many of us are there in the market and how much of a fight it is.
And also, it also gives you an idea of how many people are invited for one line.
Exactly, yeah. Which is even more shocking. So then you're like, whoa, the numbers are insane. It must be like 50, 60,000 of us. You're calling 20 of us, then you're picking 5 shortlists and you're going then 2 back to back, and then you get to 1. And then the whole like trickle down of like yeses you need. I was watching a seminar from another casting director, like it goes from the network executive to the studio to the director to the producer. You gotta get yeses from all these levels before you book the job.
Those are the external factors, because the casting director wants you to win. They're on your side.
Right. Yeah, and they'll fight for you, but it's ultimately not just one decision. It's not one person making the decision. You need a group of people to approve you.
Absolutely. So you go into the room. I know it's a line. Did you do 1 take, 2 takes, any adjustments? Do you remember?
They give me a second take. I comment. I don't remember the exact direction they gave, but usually it's like throw it away, do less. This kind of like say it. It's happens. Usually what a co-star. It's like just say it, throw it away. Because honestly, even they probably don't. They also have like some confusion, like what this is supposed to be. They think they know what they want, but they don't. Like it's hazy. But you do your best. You do your interpretation of the line, and if they like your interpretation, then it goes from there.
So it went by quick, probably. Right?
Really quick. Really quick. The only thing I would say like that I did my approach was just to build the scene of the co-star of the line that you're going of the scene you're auditioning in. So mine was like an airport scene.
Okay.
So to kind of like set the space for myself, I was pretending to hear like the intercoms go off and the announcements before starting my one line, like just to like help my own acting impulses. But these little things could help you stand out. So for my one line, I was just like pretending I could hear the intercom going off on the speakers in the airport, and then I delivered the line.
Okay.
And I had the prop, like I imagined I had a prop of a walkie-talkie because I was a TSA agent.
Nice. Smart.
There are little things you can kind of like imagine for yourself. You have a good imagination, kind of like incorporate, but again, don't try too hard. It's just find balance. It's like not trying too hard, but then like you can do a little bit of exercise, a little bit of creativity, kind of like set you apart from just being on tape and saying a line.
Right.
Little nuances that you could find in a script for your character.
That's smart. That helps a lot to a lot of actors who's trying to, because they all get confused with one line. What do I do? And
right.
And like what you said, think about the surroundings, think about the environment, take it all in. Things you can do.
Yeah, if you can draw them into your environment, because they're also bored. They're probably hearing the same line all day for 5-6 hours, and like,
absolutely,
if you could do something, just a little bit, something that's unique, that might catch your attention. That might. It's not a sure shot deal, but it might catch your attention.
Yeah. Okay. Have you been in that office before?
No, I think that was the first time. They've called me after booking that, but like that was my first time with Finnegan Jacobs.
Okay. So you didn't really know the casting director. First time they probably see. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting too, first time meeting them, and then okay. So you're done now. How did you feel? Did you feel different from the last 8 to 10 times? Did you feel different about this one? Did you feel good?
No, I felt good. I think that's the thing, because I felt like it was honest to me. It was true to me. Even if it was one line, I felt like, okay, I honestly don't think I could have done that any differently. I wouldn't have done that anything differently from what I did in the room. So that's a good feeling. And like, there was no flubs. Like, sometimes if you like flub a line, it's like, oh man, Vic, it was one line. You can't say one line, and you like kick yourself all day about it. But like,
it's funny,
that day went smooth.
I usually save the story. I mean, I've been saving the story, but I have a story. She talked about it. So I had one line for the show Younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I go in, never met the casting director before. I think it was the same office for some reason that day.
Yeah, Younger is Finnegan, yeah.
And I go in. The line was, wait, let me get this right now. No baby in my Uber. So I'm an Uber driver, right? And I'm driving, and then someone's having a baby in the back seat. So I'm just trying to yell, hey, no baby in my Uber, whatever. So I rehearsed it before, right? And then I practiced it many times, and then I practiced with my girlfriend, and then I joked about it. What if we say it the other way around? No Uber in my baby. Right before I go in, I'm on the phone. Like, why would I mess that up? And that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what the first take, I said it, I'm like, oh my gosh, can't believe I did it. And then, I'm like, can I go again? Can I go again? And then after that, you're like, you're on the spot now. Because you messed up the online, and I had to do it again, and then I felt terrible. And by the way, for this audition, I took the 2-hour bus from Philly to New York.
Wow. And
I can't believe it. For one line, I came all the way there, messed it up. They never called me back since then.
Oh no, so it'll blow over.
Yeah. So I always tell, and then since then I haven't even a line. I'm not gonna mess it up. I'm just gonna.
That's good. I mean,
let's not joke around with the lines.
No, I mean you should. It goes without saying, respect the writing, respect the work they're putting in. So as an actor, you should know the line. But it happens. Mistakes happen.
So that's one thing. Okay, now you're done with the audition. You feel good. So when do you get the call? Like how many days after? Who gives you the call? The agent?
The manager gives me the call. She gives me a call the day after. Well, first you get an email saying, and I think this was my first one. It was like, you're pinned.
You were pinned. Okay, you got that first.
Yeah, I got that first. So that's okay, you're on the board. You're like in consideration, and you're like in front of the line. And then I was like, oh, this is great. You just get more hyped about it. You're like, okay.
Because you're this close.
You're so close, yeah.
Could be one,
Yeah. And the day after, so 2 days, I get the phone call saying, hey, casting wants to book you for this.
Wow.
For this thing. And then the ball's in your court. You're like, if you're available. You're like, of course I'm available. Of course I'm available.
Let me check my calendar.
Yeah. So then that was you're just speechless in that moment. You're like, yes, of course I'm available. I book it. Like, when, where, when should I be? I can be on set right now.
So you got the call. You're excited. What did you do? I mean, did you get the call? I mean, you get the shoot details later, right? You didn't get it.
You get it later. Like, it might be even a week later. Like you don't really. They'll say like just like a block dates, like keep this week open, or we know for sure it's one of these 2 days, but so put it on hold.
Okay.
And then you get a call sheet. You might have wardrobe. You probably have you'll have wardrobe day. So before the shoot, they'll dress you and get your costumes ready.
Okay.
Which is probably like 2 days or a day before your actual shoot day.
Yeah. Did you got paid for fittings too?
Yes, you do get paid for fittings, which is a nice perk.
Nice.
So you feel kind of like, well, this is kind of cool. They're like measuring me and like custom tailoring this outfit for me. And there's also like a creative thing, like, oh yeah, like what color should we put him in? Like, who is this guy? So there's a lot of creative decisions being made in wardrobe day, but it's cool to be all part of the process.
Nice.
And then shoot date.
Shoot date. So you get ready. Well, how early? Was it early call time?
Usually they get you in early just for hair, makeup, get you situated in your. So it's cool as a co-star. You get. I don't know if it's like by rule, but I think in both cases you get a trailer or like a specific room for yourself.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. It's like so you're like put up in a trailer, private, and you're like you can have. It's like you can watch TV inside the trailer. You have like a bathroom, a couch, a bed. It's quite like.
It's true.
Fancy.
Nice.
I'm like, whoa! You give me all this just to say that one line. That's amazing.
And get paid well too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how was the shoot date? Can you just get into it more a little bit? In terms of I don't know, just meeting the other actors on set. I remember you telling me the Blacklist. I think you told me it was even though it was the airport scene, right? And you
Airport
told
scene, yeah.
me you would expect maybe an airport, but then you told me it was at Chelsea Piers. Is
Yeah,
that did I? Oh yeah,
they staged
that
a
wow.
pier, and that shows like how much like production money goes into like they like dressed an entire pier. They bought or they rented out the whole pier and they dressed it as like a airport security
Yeah.
area, and it was massive. There was like so many cast and crew, and like it's quite overwhelming to see how much goes into a big show like
Yeah.
Blacklist.
Yeah.
And but it was also quite intimidating. Being it was my first time, I was like really like nervous. Like I don't want to screw this up.
Yeah.
Like I just want to be at my best for this day.
And I'm sure you felt like finally this is where I belong, you know, because you're going to see the extras, and then you're going to be like, now I'm not an extra. I have a speaking role, you know. The camera's on me, you know, and you're working with the director, and yeah.
Yeah, and it took years to jump that line because I've done background work when I was in DC just to kind of get a feel for it.
Yeah.
So it was quite reflective to see how long it took me to cross the line.
Yeah.
From that, and you see like it's remarkable how much it takes, how much time you have to put into this industry to get some fruit.
Yeah. Did you so how was it working with the director? Did you guys like communicate, kind of talk about the scene? Did you have rehearsals? Yeah, I want to ask you that.
Yeah, so they'll call you in probably like before, like 1 hour before you go to shoot, and they'll like do a blocking, like, okay, we'll place you here, and it's like it's usually the director talking with the camera person, and like for these coasters, they kind of expect you to kind of like just do what you did in the room. There's not much. They're not going to use much of their time to kind of like coach you on it. Yeah, it's really like we like what you did in the room. It's a co-star. We got more things to worry about, so you come here. This is your mark. You might have some movement, and this is when you're going to say the line. And then you probably get 1 or 2 run-throughs like that with the director. And it's all super fast. I don't know if it was just, with Blacklist, it was very fast-paced. I think, because I think they have like 24 episodes a season, right? It's quite ridiculous how much they shoot within a season. So they have multiple cameras, so they really don't, they have no time to waste. Yeah. So if they don't get it in one camera, I'm sure they get it from another camera, so they're not worried about that. But they're like, we just got to get this scene completed and move on to the next scene. Yeah. At least that's how I felt these procedurals worked.
Yeah. So were there like, a couple of takes, did you say?
Yeah, it was like, I think 3 takes we did, and we moved on.
Wow, 3 takes, you're done. The job is done.
Done. I think they were like, all right, we got it. Let's go on to the next scene.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So you got done, and then how'd you feel? Like, you know, did you get to interact with other actors? Like,
so
if you happen to have any scene.
Yeah. So in my scene, I was with the antagonist, Christopher Lambert. I think it was actually cool to see him because he played Raiden in Mortal Kombat, a film I watched.
Okay. That's an old film.
Yeah, when I watched it as a kid.
Old one, yeah.
So he was Raiden. I was like, oh my god, this is Raiden from Mortal Kombat. So he was the one I got. Yeah, I told him, like, you're Raiden. He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, that's me. And he was really cool. He was really chill. Like, he wasn't like being like any like arrogant or anything. Like, he was very chill, very great to collaborate with. He was a cool guy.
Yeah, that's what I recently. The series.
Yeah, and there were some other
directors,
actors.
They're all just people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
And it kind of like takes the pressure off. Like once you experience it firsthand, like they're like, okay.
Yeah.
You're just like, you're not, I mean, we're different, but we're like, you're a person.
Yeah.
So it's kind of humbling to like experience that, like, because we always put them like, well, they're like stars and they must be this like alien, like life force type of thing. Like, it's like, I can't interact with them. Then you talk to them, you're like, whoa, this is takes the load off, takes the stress off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They're very friendly, welcoming, for the most part. That's how I found it. I found it very comfortable. Even though I think I worked with recurring, my credit. So I had 2 episodes, but I worked.
Congrats on the Resident, right?
The Resident, yeah. I worked 4 days, and it felt like a family. I didn't feel like leaving. I remember after I was done, I was in the parking lot, my last day. I just sat there for 30 minutes. I just didn't leave. I didn't leave the parking lot. I just felt like, I want to go back in. I don't want to wrap.
Right.
Because it just, everyone was so friendly, and now I can imagine you gotta be, because if you're gonna be a series regular and you see people every day, the same people, the crew, you gotta be like a family. If not, it's not gonna work.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I can concur on the whole when reality strikes, when you sign off on your you close out the day and you're like back to reality. When you like step out the trailer and you're back into the whole sea of actors, you're like, oh my gosh, I missed that. Don't make me go. I can stay a little bit longer, one more day.
Oh man, I remember that same feeling. I drove back. I got done early, and then I had to actually took the bus back to Florida. It was a 16-hour bus, and I was thinking about, I'm done already. I'm going home. I can't wait to get back on set. But it kind of pushes you, after that. After the first credit, usually you end up getting more auditions because, they trust you more and they can pitch you better. Your managers can pitch you better. Cause I'm sure that's what happened to you, right? You probably got a lot of auditions after that.
Right, yeah. So it kind of like, you're like a proof. You're like, he worked on that set, and if NBC can work with them, that means, well, then we're all like, he's vouched for, they can vouch for him. So it brings your credibility up quite really high, like more than twofold. So you'll get bigger opportunities, but more competition. There's like, that's the reality of that. But it's cool. Like after you do one co-star, the door opens up a flood of opportunities.
Absolutely. So now you booked your first co-star. What did you ever think about why you booked it compared to the other? Like, did you feel like it was something to do with maybe a reel you had, maybe you had better relationship with the casting director, or was it just like you felt not nervous? What was it? Did you think there was a particular reason why you booked it this time, or was it just an external factor where it just, it was about to happen at some point?
I mean, I look back, I'm like, it was that nuance I did that got me the job. But I've done nuances. But I've done nuances in other auditions which I haven't booked, right? So it's like, that's what I mean. It's like, you really don't know. I mean, I felt good. I think that's key. If you feel good when you walk out of the room, I think that's as content as you can be after one of these auditions. Why I booked it, that could be several reasons. We can't say it was just because the way I delivered. Maybe I had the right look, which is sadly a factor. It's like, okay, he used the right look. Even height can be a thing. Like, it'd be like, okay, he's taller than the lead. That's not going to work. The lead has to be like, there's could be so many factors that you have zero control of. That could work in your favor or against your favor. So I can't pinpoint. Like, all I can say is I felt good after the audition. I didn't feel nervous. That's the only thing that indicates that I might book the job.
And like you said, you probably became less nervous after a bunch of auditions already. You had that experience, and you felt just that, you knew what you had to do. You were just prepared better, and, you had that experience. And you take the stress off, take like the pressure off of like, you have to go in there and like this delivery, you're like this, again, like to go back, like don't pour a gallon into a tea cup, like don't overwork it, just go there, do your best to what you understand what the scene is and what you're there to serve in the script. For me, I had a couple of auditions with this agent, and I felt like she was getting me in the room and I was not booking it, and I finally booked it. I felt like, I made her proud. So when she called me, I said, oh my gosh, finally I get to make you happy. She goes, oh my gosh, no, you've been making me proud since day one. But that's what you think. You're under pressure, you're under stress, and like you just talked about. So That's how I felt for that. You know, when I booked it, I was like,
like I
thank
said,
God.
I think casting directors are your friends. Like they're probably the most
Yeah,
in defense
yeah,
of you. If they keep calling you, that's a great sign that you've been doing good work.
yeah. And also agents, if you're getting in the room, they're also doing something right. You know, just because you don't book it, um, of course, there's going to be a time where they're going to be like, hey, you know, what are you doing wrong? Or we got to talk about it. But for the most part, I feel if you're getting in the room because casting is calling you, which means they like you know, which means you're going to book any time. And agents know that. Agents don't think like you're a failure or you're a bad client, you know. They know you're going to
No,
do it
yeah,
because you're getting
absolutely.
called in,
They know.
you know. As long as you're getting called in, it's a good sign for everyone.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, they understand the reality of it. They know how hard it is. If you're getting called in, like I said, that's
yeah.
a big feat, and you should be grateful for that.
Yeah. All right. I think we talked pretty much your whole experience for your first co-star. Let's kind of wrap it with this, right? What would your advice be to someone who hasn't booked their first co-star, first major credit yet? You know, could be for anyone. Could be maybe they've been trying for years, like you've been trying for 10 years of acting. You've been acting for 10 years. So for anyone, what would you say your advice?
I would say continue doing your own work, whatever work finds you or you find. That's important for the craft of it. What your instrument, your acting instrument, is very important to be in tune and not nervous. You know, the more times you do it, the better, more comfortable you are going to be doing it when it comes to the time we have to really show. Then second, I would say build relationships, casting directors. I mean, I think that's key. It's a team effort. They're part of the puzzle that we're all part of as well. So you need them, they need us. Be kind. I mean, be respectful, be kind, show up. Everybody understands the struggle of this industry. And then specifically speaking, then I would say work towards getting representation, because I think that's
True.
a practical fact of even getting considered, being submitted for these opportunities.
Yeah.
So that's something that you should work towards, and that goes back to like working on stuff, getting real footage, getting experience to show to managers and agents to represent you.
Yeah.
Because that is something you need, I'd say, in order to progress in the industry. You can't do it alone. You need somebody to fight for you, somebody to vouch for you, somebody to showcase you and your talents.
Yeah.
So yeah, find agents and managers. So that's how you get even submitted, because we don't see those breakdowns. Like we can't submit ourselves for these co-stars unless it's really specific. Like they can't find like an acrobatic genius who can like speak Mandarin. Then it goes out on breakdown, like on Actors Access, and we can apply. But like for the bulk of it, it's via agents and managers who have access to the breakdowns who can submit you. So you do absolutely need to have that on your roster as part of your team to book one of these.
Okay. And then I guess persistence too, right? Because it took you 10 years. It took you 8 co-star auditions and 10 co-star auditions before you booked. So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I think you got to put in the hours, stay with it. Again, and it will be a test of your passion for the craft. If you really like acting, I don't think not booking a co-star is going to stop you from acting.
That's a good
I
point.
think you'll keep going, and don't get into acting to just book work. I think it's like this industry will test you. I think that will test how long you stay in it. If you love it, you'll be in it, and when opportunity finds you and you're the right match, you're going to book it. You're going to kill it. But if you let it hurt your love for the craft, then this industry might really chew you out.